There is something creepy about this place. The people in it are proud to be zombies. The more vicious they are, the more power they have. The man stumbles into it and ends up experiencing what it means to be in hell. Hello and welcome to Movie Night. And today we're going to talk about a horror film named Ghost Stories. There are 4 stories in this film, but the one we are going to talk about today is the third one, and certainly the best one in my opinion. The film begins with the main character Druv, an investigating officer who has traveled a long way into a small town. He is about to investigate the reasons why many of the children there are failing in their exams, but the driver for some reason drops him off 3 miles away from the town, seemingly terrified of getting near the place. The rest of the journey he can only go on foot, which exhausts Druv. It is getting late in the evening, and at the same time his mobile phones start to lose out on signal as well. By the time Druv enters the town, it is dark, and there is no light at all. There is not even a single person in sight, except for the boy who is standing over a corner with his helmet, not uttering a single word. The boy suddenly says that if Druv wants to live, he should turn off the lights, and if he sees something, he should stay still, and if the boy tells him to run, he must run. He then follows the boy all the way to a house where there is a little girl inside, and the boy thought that he had brought a rescue team, but in fact there was no rescue team. Only one person came. The girl points a knife at Druv and asks him if he has seen his cousin. Druv is now confused as to what has happened to this town. Where has everyone gone? And there are only 2 children. Druv wants to meet the children's father, but both of them say that it is better not to, because they will eat people. Druv now thinks that the 2 kids are insane, and right at that moment there is a terrifying roar coming from outside, and it doesn't sound like a human being at all. The boy says it's his dad, and Druv then realizes that something is wrong and that he is in some kind of a hellhole. Then the boy follows by telling Druv that his dad is hungry and he has eaten everyone in the town. From what just happened, it is clear that the boy's dad is a monster and the 2 children are the only survivors. So what happened to the people of the town? From the conversation between the 2 kids, Druv realized that the girl's father had gone berserk and started attacking other people. Then the sheriff, the headmaster, and everyone else had also gone berserk, start biting people on sight just like a zombie. The 2 then serve Druv with a bit of rancid milk, which the boy risks his life to find. There are hardly any other people or animals left alive in the town, except for the adults who have turned into monsters, and the cow where they get their milk from. The next morning the boy is ready to go out to get more milk from the cow. He seems to have a way of staying under the radar of the man-eating monsters out there, and the girl seems to be wary of the boy. Now that there are only Druv and the girl, Druv asks the girl why she and her dad turn out fine although they are from the big town. It turns out that she escaped to the small town with her dad, and even witnessed him turn into a monster and start attacking the people in the town. By the time the boy came back, the boy was crying and said that the cow had died due to starvation, as it hadn't been fed for weeks. At this time, Druv was getting a bit annoyed as he wondered why the boy was allowed to go out, and he couldn't, so he takes the risk and ran out. But the town is in a big mess. That night when he comes into the town it's too dark, so Druv doesn't know exactly what's going on here. When Druv sees a woman, he shouts at her asking for the location of the township office. But when the woman turns around, Druv is horrified, as she actually has sharp teeth and doesn't seem like a normal person at all. If the little boy hadn't shouted, Druv would have been attacked by her. Terrified, he ran over to the school and saw the headmaster wearing the sunglasses, who didn't seem to be able to see Druv at all. It seemed like something had blinded the headmaster, and he just stumbling around and walked out of the school. Soon the 2 kids came running to find Druv. They hastily closed the classroom door and hid at the window watching the whole scene. The boy said that only by becoming a man-eating monster, then only they will not be attacked, because monsters do not eat their own kind. But the headmaster is different, because he has not turned completely. So not only will he lose his eyesight, but he will not be able to hunt properly as well. Then, the boy closed the window and the 3 of them sat at the table. The girl recalled the first time her father had gone on a rampage here. Her father said that the people here needed permission from the big town to live in the small town, as her father was a counselor in the big town, and anything he said mattered. All of a sudden, a hairy monster stormed into the classroom and stood on the table, staring at 3 of them, but it couldn't see them clearly. The monster was the girl's father. Terrified by what she saw, the girl peed on her pants, and the monster discovered her and eaten her alive. The boy said that they can only hide in there and unable to escape, but Druv didn't want to give up. Druv said that humans are smarter, so they will find a way to leave here. It seemed like the only way to get out of here without being attacked is to eat the corpse and turn into monsters. However, They just smear the corpse blood on their bodies to try to blend in. But this is obviously not a safe way either. They are just lying to themselves. And the most intelligent monster still able to spot them and jumps right up to the boy and forcing the boy to join their kind. Druv was spotted as well. Scared, he ran frantically with a group of monsters chasing after him, and he ended up falling into a pit while the monsters threw in a severed limb. It was up to him to become one of their kind. At this moment the scene shifted to Druv waking up from the fall, and it was raining heavily. The town was still empty. The kids were already gone. Druv tried to look everywhere. At this moment, the car from the army of the big town arrived. Druv told them that there were man-eating monsters here, but the army said that the town had been abandoned for a month. Then the people around him asked Druv why he came here and said that everyone in the small town had moved to the big town, even the headmaster as well. Druv then asked why the town looked like it had been burned down. The man beside him, trying to hint him by saying, "If you play with fire, you will definitely catch fire." The woman beside also reminds him to stop talking about the small town because the councilman's daughter was tragically killed there. The councilman says, "Don't worry, you are safe now. After all, the small town was just a terrible place." After finishing this story, I believe many people have been wondering whether the Druv has eaten the corpse or not. Actually, why don't we think about it in a different perspective? The so-called cannibalistic zombies or monsters, what do they represent? It is actually a community. And the man-eating monsters themselves are symbolic of the cannibalistic society in general. The small town and the big town are better described as the gap between the upper and lower class of society and its influence. After all, the film leaves you with two paths, either to become a man-eating monster or to be hunted down. In other words, either to become one of the corrupt ones or to be constantly harassed. If you are in Druv's position, what would you do? Eat the limb or continue to stay on your own course? Leave in the comment and share with me about your choice and why. Alright, that's it for this video. Thank you for your time. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment.